Tonight, live from New York City, CBS celebrates its diamond anniversary, 75 years of broadcasting excellence. CBS at 75. Join us for an unforgettable journey through time, featuring the shows, the stars, and memorable events from more than 7 decades of news, sports, and entertainment. Showbiz legend Carol Burnett, together again Tim Conway and Harvey Korman, Knox Landing's Joan Van Ark, Donna Mills, and Michelle Lee. Star of Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury. From Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray Romano. Patricia Heaton, Peter Boyle, and Doris Roberts. Dallas stars Larry Hagman, Linda Gray, and Patrick Duffy. It's John Provost, June Lockhart, and America's favorite collie, Lassie. From MASH, Jamie Farr, Loretta Swit, and Mike Farrell. Gunsmoke's Dennis Weaver. WKRP's Gary Sandy, Lonnie Anderson, Tim Reed, and Howard Hessman. It's Andy Griffith and Jim Neighbors. Kim Zimmer from The Guiding Light. Star of Magnum P.I., Tom Selleck. Cagney and Lacey stars Tyne Daly and Sharon Gless. Magician extraordinaire David Copperfield. Murphy Brown's Candice Bergen. From the Dukes of Hazzard, Tom Wopat and John Schneider. Wonder Woman, Linda Carter. The Jeffersons, Marla Gibbs, Isabel Sanford, and Sherman Hemsley. CBS News icons Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather. Star of The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Mary Tyler Moore. They're all here and many more to celebrate CBS at 75. Tonight's gala is brought to you from the historic Hammerstein Theater in the Manhattan Center. Our celebration begins with a look at 75 years of legendary images from CBS.
Welcome, everyone, to Hollywood and to another hour in the Lux Radio Theater.
This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen.
A soldier.
To assure you that the war of the world has
Never died.
Your hit parade.
Good night, and good luck.
The Russians have taken over a Cuban naval base.
Hey, don't do that.
Why not?
For one thing, I'm driving.
Well, we get back somewhere.
We're sending satellites around the moon, and yet we still have horse and buggy laws.
A would-be assailant has taken shots at President Reagan.
We'll get him running, and we'll bring him to justice.
Take it, Tom. No.
And away we go! Run!
Let's turn up the lights and see if y'all have any questions.
Who is you?
My name is, Kangaroo.
My name is Dave.
Sign in, please.
Hello?
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Chair.
Hello.
Ron!
Call me Walter.
Good morning, Mr. Phelps.
I don't like it. It's messy. It's uncomfortable.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Trouble?
Vasectomy.
It's sex, isn't it?
Menopause?
Gay.
Damn it!
Pregnant? Yes.
Chair. Chair.
Cheaper to have me killed and to kill me.
I wear the pants in this family. And when you zip them up, include your mouth.
It's just that things ain't the same no more.
The world was better when it was the same.
History was made today, and you were an eyewitness.
The place is the Twilight Zone.
Actually, I think the whole thing ended with us making love.
Please welcome Ray Romano.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks. Welcome here, and let me just say thank you for letting me be here. It's quite a thrill. It's quite an honor to be in this room with all this talent and this history. And 75 years, there's a big night planned tonight. Let me tell you something. My father just turned 75, and we didn't do all this for him. No. We didn't televise it, which is good, because it's my father, and that's always pants optional. Yeah. But this is a big party tonight, and it's well-deserved. It's a milestone. It's the diamond anniversary. And by the way, my wife is here, honey. It's 75 years, Diamond, so just back off a little bit, okay? We have 60 years to go. But this is quite a celebration tonight, along with some great reunions. We're going to be looking through the CBS television scrapbook. And television, of course, created an entertainment revolution, especially the sitcoms. In the early days, we loved Lucy, we loved Burns and Allen, and one of my favorites, Jackie Gleason. And then in 1971, a working family from Queens changed everything. The Bunkers. Yes. Thanks to them. Thanks to them, thanks to a stubborn armchair philosopher named Archie, the floodgates opened, and sitcoms of every shade and stripe suddenly grew up.
On behalf of CBS, welcome to the party. My thanks to all of you for helping make this such a great historic reunion. We're here, of course, because once upon a time, a young man dared to dream. CBS founder William S. Paley. He and his team created the groundwork that shaped the network. And 75 years later, his dedication and leadership remain an inspiration. In an age known for tremendous change and transformation, how rare it is to see a vision like his grow and endure over 7.5 decades. And so tonight, as CBS moves forward, we thought it would be fitting to take a moment to remember the times and the talent that helped define who we are and what we do best. It all began in the Roaring '20s when a 27-year-old visionary named William Paley began to advertise his family's cigar firm on radio stations in Philadelphia. When cigar sales soared, Paley became fascinated with the new medium. He eventually acquired the network, 16 radio stations that became known as the Columbia Broadcasting System. America instantly fell in love with radio, and by the 1930s, families gathered around their soundbox to listen to their favorite programs. Weekly shows became appointment listening.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Bing Crosby Show, The Goldbergs, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and The Shadow.
The Shadow.
Anthology shows presented the best of Broadway with film stars such as Marlene Dietrich, Humphrey Bogart, and Lauren Bacall, Joan Crawford, Laurence Olivier, and Elizabeth Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make. Those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars.
Wait a minute, something's happening. Lord, they're turning into flames. Now the whole field's caught up by the woods of fires.
In 1938, Orson Welles' War of the Worlds created such a controversy that Welles was forced to call a press conference to apologize to the nation.
We are deeply shocked and deeply regretful.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
To keep an ever-growing audience entertained, Bill Paley began to build his stable of stars. Some of the great talent that became part of the CBS family included Red Skelton, Burns and Allen, Amos and Andy, and Jack Benny.
Why did you want to leave me?
Because I can't trust myself with you.
With the invention of television, CBS was ready to bring these and other audience favorites into America's living rooms. As television became more popular, CBS continued to break new ground.
Good evening, everybody. Here's the news picture tonight.
In May of 1948, the CBS News with Douglas Edwards became the nation's first regularly scheduled evening newscast.
Good evening. This is See It Now.
In 1951, CBS launched the first documentary series, See It Now, hosted by legendary journalist Edward R. Murrow. A year later, CBS opened a West Coast headquarters in Hollywood known as Television City. Exploring the medium, Chairman Bill Paley, along with CBS President Frank Stanton, ordered the development of color television.
The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show in color.
As this new technology became perfected, more and more shows were broadcast in color as a new era in entertainment began.
Frank Shortnecker.
Frank Shortnecker. With 2 Ks?
No, he's coming alone.
And most people I knew had no faith in it. Some of my closest friends thought I was buying into a gimmick. And I sat back with such enthusiasm for it. I just couldn't understand anybody having any doubt about the future of this medium.
With its eye on the world and a desire to create excellence in programming, Bill Paley proudly called CBS the Tiffany Network, a standard of quality that he first established and one that's been an inspiration to the CBS family for the past 75 years.
Patricia has gone to the little girl's room. I think I've been mugged. Oh. Gotta sit down for a minute, Van. No, don't get too close, Van, no. Gotta rest for a minute here. And now, here is the star of the $1 Million Price is Right, Bob Barker! Thank you.
After seeing these clips, I ask you, is it any wonder my hair is white? You can never tell what is going to happen in a game show. That's why if there is one thing Americans might love more than playing a game, it's watching a game show. It's a chance to see your friends and neighbors strike it rich, test their knowledge, tell the truth, tell some fibs, and go to outrageous lengths to win prizes ranging from cars to cash. And you never knew who you might see on a CBS game show. It might be the girl next door, or an Academy Award-winning actress, or the kid who delivered the newspaper. And if you watched enough shows, you just might see a future president. Let's take a look.
It's the original show with a heart. Strike it rich.
To tell the truth. What's my line?
I've got a secret. America's own Quiz Kid.
The Joker's Wife. Do you trust your wife?
Thank you, and welcome to I'll Buy That, the show that wants to buy whatever you'd like to sell.
Now back to the dull stuff, the rules of the game.
Now, the object of our game is to solve a picture puzzle through a series of clues.
Now, when all 3 players have had a chance to answer, we'll go back to player number 1. Your job is to get as close to 21 as you can without going over.
And then if I get the right number, it shows up on that top thing there. And if I say less than, and it makes a little one. I know how to play this.
The correct answer will bring you up to $300.
$5,000.
$64,000.
$8,602, a difference of $2,602. You win, Eileen. Are you
Blindfolds all in place, panel? Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please?
Are you a movie star?
I'm quite sure. Well, sir, I just don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been in television?
You know, when CBS began 75 years ago now, as we all know, there was no such thing as the evening news, just let alone an anchor man. Bill Paley, however, would change that, and luckily for us, that is, for my colleague, Dan Rather, and me, we were gainfully employed thereafter for quite a long, long time.
Thank you. Well, the government has long required broadcasters to perform some sort of public service, and it was William Paley's idea to do that by starting a news division. The result was an organization that not only reported some of the greatest moments of our history, but also made history.
The names really say it all. Murrow, Collywood, Severide, Carrault. Across the decades, hundreds of others, CBS News reporters and producers and camera crews and editors have set the standard for broadcast news on radio and television.
From the Blitz to Baghdad, CBS News has covered it all. Over 8 decades that shook the world. And through it all, the story of those times has been our story as well. The story of CBS News.
Good evening from our CBS newsroom in New York.
Confidence in our own integrity.
We're impressed with the importance of this medium. We shall hope to learn to use it and not to abuse it.
High standards.
The Vietcong has opened fire on the convoy. We're now firing back.
Experience, and experience counts.
Hello, America. This is Ed Murrow speaking from London. Far away in the distance, I can see just that faint, red, angry snap of anti-aircraft bursts.
The group who worked at CBS News during that time, they set the standard for television news. It's as simple as that.
This is Eric Severide in Paris.
Winston Burdett, CBS News.
This is Charles Collingwood.
Richard C. Huttle at CBS News.
The team that Ed Murrow put together, known as Murrow's Boys, those guys were not the best journalists in broadcasting. They were the best journalists in journalism.
Well, that's what CBS News has been down the years. It's the television broadcast of record.
Well, yes, that's right.
Ain't it a little early for that? Ain't Hannah coming tomorrow?
Here is a bulletin from CBS News. In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
The assassination of President Kennedy was such a hammer to the heart.
There has been no official word on the extent of the president's wounds.
I had talked to a doctor and a priest who said the president was dead.
We just have a report from our correspondent, Dan Rather, in Dallas, that he has confirmed that President Kennedy is dead.
I knew we were right, but it still made me uncomfortable until the official announcement was made.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
The moment of the Kennedy assassination is, I think, when television news became the preeminent glue that holds the country together in times of stress and crisis.
Hell no, we won't go!
The 1960s, that decade, was undoubtedly the most turbulent decade in our entire history.
Take your hands off of me.
Dan Rather.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, Walter, as you can see...
I think we've got a bunch of thugs here, Dan.
calling for peace just doesn't make sense.
A lot of people reported on the Vietnam War, but it was CBS News coverage that is the most memorable.
This is what the war in Vietnam is all about. The Marines have burned this old couple's cottage because fire was coming from here.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free at last!
The murder sent a shock wave of violence rolling through the big cities of America.
Now it's on to Chicago and let's win there.
A wave of assassinations that really tore the country apart with concern about what was happening to our country.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Of all the things that happened in the 60s, we went from the depths of despair to the very heights beyond our world.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Boy.
Okay, we're going to be busy for a minute.
Each one of those defining moments
That's one small step for man.
for a generation and for a nation, CBS News correspondents managed to be at the core and the central thing people remember about the coverage.
5 men apparently caught in the act of burglarizing and bugging Democratic headquarters in Washington.
When you hear people who love this country and people who believe in you say reluctantly that perhaps you should resign or be impeached.
Well, I'm glad we don't take the vote in this room, you say.
At CBS News, if no one else will ask the tough question, you're expected to do it.
Mr. President, you still believe that it wasn't an arms for hostage deal, but that...
We talk about the old standards of CBS News. Those standards are still in place.
For America, it became a death in the family. An explosion was followed by silence. The nation stopped.
The crowd started chanting, "One Plaza." They are tantalizingly close to getting that.
September 11th, 2001. You will remember this day as long as you live. I do think it was one of CBS News' finest hours. The instantaneous sense of mission. This time, it matters maybe more than any other time that you've ever had the microphone and camera.
Pride. That's what we who work for CBS News feel. Pride. I'll see you on the radio. Pride in our tradition.
This is CBS Reports. Harvest of shame.
In our experience.
Only a few fishermen helped the boat people ashore. We joined in.
In our responsibility.
Mr. President, officials here say that his condition remains stable and good.
What moves a man to just stand still? Is it courage or madness?
The enemy soldiers have been holding out, even against the mortars like the one that's about to go off behind you.
Some 3,500 firefighters from 41 states. Today, we went with them.
As it came down, there was a great roar from the crowd. People were cheering.
We expect to be moving it up to 50 miles an hour as we roar through the Iraqi desert.
It was John Adams who rose to his feet.
All that I hope for in this life, I stake on our cause.
The sense of history and tradition that have carried us this far will carry us into whatever the future may bring.
Stop to 3, Q down 3, zoom in.
For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. See you tomorrow.
Star of the CBS comedy series Murphy Brown, please welcome Candice Bergen.
In 1948, the CBS network brought one of its dramatic radio programs, Studio One, to television. Like the radio series, the show was an ambitious attempt to present weekly plays featuring big-name actors. Making it even more ambitious was the fact that the show was performed live. Studio One was followed on CBS by a number of dramatic anthologies, which attracted an outstanding array of talent. In front of the lens were some of the brightest stars of Broadway and Hollywood. Let's look at some of the most compelling moments of live TV, starting with Mickey Rooney and the Playhouse 90 production of The Comedian.
Johnny, get the boom. Wait a minute, hold it. Get the boom down so I can talk. Watch out, don't hit it here. I can hear you, listen.
Look, Lord Byron. Wait a minute. Come on. Hold it. Shut up! And you shut up too, George. Look, Lord Byron, if you want to talk to the common folks, come out and talk face to face. Don't give me none of that Captain Video bit behind the glass. Where are you going? Oh, it's wardrobe. It's all right, honey. Go ahead. Call this guy a director. Listen, if my so-called writers are around here, they can send this baby back to the laundry. I'll tell you that.
Playhouse 90. Westinghouse Studio 1. In Hollywood.
The DuPont Show of the Month. The General Electric Theater. Here is Ronald Reagan. Good evening.
Talk is so cheap. So awfully cheap.
Well, I know that, but this is something that you can't...
They're shaving the hair off of my head, and I know it, but my mother don't know it. Do you hear me?
Did you kill Mrs. Wallach?
You pep it up. No, don't ask me that. Just don't ask me that.
You should not have started the war.
I should not have started the war. Someone should have mentioned this to me when I invaded Poland.
2 eyewitnesses. One was a town drunk, another man so old his eyes could hardly see. Sam, this town is murdering that boy, and you know it.
I left my last job because I got hit so much I was on my way to Punchyland.
Punchyland?
Sure. You fight so long, you walk around on your heels, listening to the bells. Nadine.
Bothers you too much, doesn't it, huh? Well, it didn't bother you last week to stand in the middle of the ring with your hands at your sides and let Gibbons beat you to a pulp for 7 rounds. It didn't bother you a bit, did it? It didn't bother you that I put all my money on you and said you wouldn't go for 3.